911, what's the location of your emergency?
I'm not sure what building it is, but it's right next to my building. These two men are fighting, and their fire alarm keeps going off.
It's just after 7 on Christmas Eve. Middletown police respond to a fight between a father and son. 3 officers surround the apartment. The officer closest to the door knocks and yells.
Middletown police!
This will not end well.
This video was intended to inform and educate the public.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Hello everybody and welcome to today's video here on the Junkyard News. And in today's video news story we have Christmas Eve chaos, a shocking view of body cam video that was just released in the shooting of a man who answered his door armed for his protection. This incident happened in Middletown, Ohio, where police have released body cam video from a Christmas Eve shooting involving officers.
Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus.
It all unfolded after somebody called 911 to report hearing 2 men arguing in an adjacent building.
Noise complaint.
Noise complaint.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
I'm not sure what building it is, but it's right next to my building. These 2 men are fighting, and their fire alarm keeps going off.
When officers arrived at the apartment, they knocked a few times on the door, announcing themselves, and when no one answered, they once again knocked to announce themselves several more times, trying to get the attention of the individuals inside. That's when 50-year-old Christopher Gorak eventually opens the door and is holding a firearm in his hand, although he is not pointing it directly at officers. It looks to me like he has it just in case he needs it for self-defense. That's when the officer closest to the door immediately reacts upon seeing a firearm in the hand of the individual, firing 4 shots hitting Gorak. Now, officers did try to administer CPR as well as try to stop the bleeding, but to no avail, since the resident did end up succumbing to the injuries. Now, last month, Butler County Grand Jury did clear the Middletown officer who fired the 4 shots. Prosecutors say the officer had 0.3 of a second to respond to a deadly threat scene. Now, the prosecutor was quoted as saying, "When you come out of an aggressive situation with a firearm in your hand under circumstances where the police have been announced, you're probably going to be confronted with a lethal response, as was here, which is going to result in a justifiable shooting incident," Butler County Prosecutor Michael Moser said to News 8. According to the Middletown Police Department, officers began wearing body cameras just this past summer. This incident was the first officer-involved shooting since rolling out the program. In addition to be considered by the grand jury, the shooting was also investigated by the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation. This is a stark reminder, people, that even though you have a Second Amendment right to be armed for personal self-defense, this is what happens when you try answering the door armed with a firearm when there are people knocking and outside who claim to be police. Of course, you don't know whether they're police or not until you open the door to take a look. Be careful, people. I'm telling you, say it every video. You never know when your next encounter with a Leo will lead you to being highlighted in our next video. Thank you again for watching this video by the Junkyard News. Here's a news clip about this incident. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And as always, stay safe out there.
Middletown police now releasing body camera video to us showing the moments a man was shot by police on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, recently a grand jury ruling the shooting was justified, clearing the officer who fired 4 shots, killing the 50-year-old man.
Chris, this all stems from a 911 call about 2 men arguing and fighting. That's what brought police to that scene, and that's where that body cam video picks up.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
I'm not sure what building it is, but it's right next to my building. These 2 men are fighting, and their fire alarm keeps going off.
It's just after 7 on Christmas Eve. Middletown police respond to a fight between a father and son. 3 officers surround the apartment. The officer closest to the door knocks and yells.
Middletown Police!
Here's a viewpoint from the officer positioned diagonally to the door. Watch the same officer who knocked on the door the first time. Knocks again, this time harder, using a flashlight, and shouts,
Middletown Police!
Then, after the third knock,
when the door opened, you can see on body camera Mr. Gorak coming out with a firearm raised. Now, in a short period of time, it does appear that he starts to lower the gun, but a gun can be fired in an instant.
50-year-old Christopher Gorak answers the door with a gun in his left hand. And in an instant, the officer closes to the door.
And he immediately, within 0.3 of a second, fired 4 shots.
Gorak drops to the ground. A few seconds later, officers begin CPR and try to stop the bleeding. Gorak's autopsy shows he was heavily intoxicated and tested positive for marijuana.
The purpose of those 4 rounds is to stop an assault, to stop the danger. The intent is not necessarily to kill.
Middletown police citing Marcy's Law for the reason they're not releasing the name of the officer who fired those shots.
This is what happens when you call the cops. You get your rights violated or you all get shot.
This is what happens when you call the cops. This is what happens when you call the cops. You get your rights violated or you all get shot.
Videos uploaded by the Junkyard News are helped in part by viewers just like you. You can show your support for this channel by clicking the thumbs up, sharing our videos, or hitting that all-important support button on our channel page. Don't want to miss a video or a story? Make sure to check us out and like us on Facebook at The Junkyard News.